previously on the last Pokemon Crystal SuperMON run. But we will stare him down and then use an escape rope to get out of here. And coming up, I will try and stop having an existential crisis here in the Azalea Gym. Welcome back to SuperMON. This is the series where we grab a Pokemon, we give it 4 moves and 1 life, and we see just how far through Pokemon Crystal we can make it. And today we're going to be running Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan is one of the strongest Pokemon introduced in Generation 1. It was one of our leaders on the time challenges for a very, very long time. So there's a lot of pressure, not only on Kangaskhan, but on me on this particular challenge as well. Now, the answer to the question, is Kangaskhan a SuperMON, is obvious. The answer is yes. It's whether I can figure out the right moves to make it a SuperMON in this particular video. I have been agonising for a very, very long time over the moves, and I am still not decided even now. So this might be a little bit more of a talky stance than normal, but I'm going to weigh up all of the options. Body Slam and Earthquake are both absolutely 100% guaranteed to be on the learn set. With those 2 moves, we can hit physical damage of at least 100 power on everything barring Lance's Aerodactyl. So those 2 moves are absolutely 100% certain. It's the other half of the learn set where I am struggling. And it's not through lack of choice, it's through many different options and many different ways we could approach this challenge, and I don't know which is the right way to get Kangaskhan right to the end. Because we could go for Ice Beam, even though we've only got 40 in special attack, and that could be enough to one-shot Lance's Dragonite, but then again it might not be, and I am not sure I want to take that risk, which then brings Rock Slide into play. It's 90% accurate, it's 75 for its base power, but it's a physical move, so we will be able to use our much stronger attacking stat. But, once again, is that going to be the right play? Is Rock Slide going to miss twice in a row and we're going to end up paralysed? That is an option. And then we come to Double Edge. Double Edge will absolutely one-shot Lance's Dragonite, even the level 50. However, it's a recoil move, and that means we're going to be taking damage, and I don't know if we're able to one-shot everything else in Lance's team in order to survive enough to take advantage of Double Edge. We could hold on to a Gold Berry, that would give us an extra 30 HP to play with, but it is very, very risky, and I don't know whether I want to take that risk, the Rock Slide risk, or the Ice Beam risk. And then when it comes to move slot 4, I'm thinking about Attract, because it's very rare that we get to play a physical Pokemon with Attract anyway, and that will give us a 50-50 chance of just not being damaged if we can't one-shot the Pokemon in front of us. But I'm now trying to think, are there enough Pokemon in this challenge which will probably not get one-shot or two-shot, where that turns into something that is viable to run. But then on the other hand, Attract could also be a good get out of jail free card. Say if we did end up status paralysed or something and we needed just to throw the dice to see if we can luck our way through a battle, it could be a good thing to hold in our back pocket. There are probably more variables at play in this particular challenge than any other SuperMON challenge we've done to date, and there will be multiple paths to get the victory to red, but all of them do have those little roadblocks in the way, and we have to try and mitigate as many of them as possible with our one try and one strategy. And I'm leaning mostly towards the Rock Slide Attract strategy. I think that might be the best. Well, we'll give it a go. It might be the wrong play, but we'll see how far we get. I'm not 100% convinced we're going to make it to the end in this one, but I hope to get fairly far, and then we can give it a redo later on a stream if we don't end up defeating red in this one. So we've got ourselves Earthquake. We will get Attract next. We're going to try and keep the move order as sensible as possible here. It'll be Rock Slide in slot number 4. That's going to be way down at the bottom because it's a Gen 1 TM. I think we just saw it there. No, that's Skull Bash. Let's make sure we get the correct move. Don't want to go for Skull Bash, it's a terrible move. And then we will also have Body Slam in slot number 1. And that will hopefully in big inverted commas, be the correct way to play this Pokemon. So let's now take a look at our stats. We are level 5 with 115 HP, holding a berry with Body Slam, Earthquake, Attract, and Rock Slide. 16 in attack, 14 in defense, 10 in special attack, 14 in special defense, and 15 in speed. And now with the moves locked in, it's time to get the challenge underway. I don't think we'll be having too many issues in the beginning of this challenge. I think maybe Chuck will be our first, in quotes, threat, and after that Jasmine. The rest of Johto should be fairly smooth though, even though we don't have return in these challenges. I reckon we'll one-shot all of Claire's Dragonair fairly easily. We might even get early Pink Bow in this particular challenge as well. We do have the soft sand available for Jasmine. That's something we can get as soon as we get Surf. So we do have fairly early access onto our type boosting held items. Now you'll have to excuse me if there's a little bit of stuttering in my commentary for this particular challenge. I'm on new medication yet again, I know. Always seems to be an ever-changing merry-go-round of medication, and it's given me a little bit of the old brain fog, so I'm going to try my best to push through it, because I do want to keep the videos coming as best as I can, so it does just mean there might be the occasional stumble over the words, the occasional malapropism, those kind of things. You're used to it anyway if you watch my videos for any length of time. I'm not the most careful with my word choices, and I'm so oblivious to my word choices a lot of the time that I forget that I'm saying the wrong thing, and then I don't go and correct it. Rival 1 there was fairly easy. I've given him the Cyndaquil line just because of Smokescreen, and because we rarely get to see the Cyndaquil line with the rivals, so I thought we'd mix things up a little bit in this particular challenge. We'll name the rival, we will then chat with Elm, he'll Body Slam. The good old move tutor there, I'm never removing that from the patch, it's one of my favourite things. And away we go. Now, one of the big things I love about SuperMON is that I'm able to spend that time talking through choices and talking through strategy, unlike what we were able to do with our original timed runs. And that's part of the inspiration to code my own timer for the timed runs. I'm sure you've seen a couple of them already, but now that the timer will automatically pause if I'm not making input, it means I can slow my thinking down just a little bit and focus more on getting the movement perfect in between the trainers, because then when we get to battling, I can stop and think, and I'm not having to go at a million miles an hour, which, as we have seen in many challenges, has been the cause of unforced resets because I'm playing far too quickly. So I'm hoping that this slower pace in general will translate to much better challenge outcomes for the time challenges, and also will generate a lot of SuperMONs on this leaderboard where we only get the one chance, so there is no real opportunity for me to mess up like I have done in the past with the time challenges. But I think we'll have a very good time regardless, because I am really enjoying SuperMON. I don't think I have ever played a challenge quite as fun as this before. Now, this is our first gym leader. For some reason his title card hasn't wanted to play, but this is Falconer. He's a flying type specialist. He led with Pidgey that went down in one hit, and there's Pidgeotto going down in 2. Zephyr Badge acquired, and our next set of 3 points on the board, taking us up to 5 points, and we now have 16 for our level cap. That does mean we can go into the Pokemon Center. We'll do a very quick heal, and we will have a chat with Professor Elm's aide, and we can start ascending the Sprout Tower, where we're already at the very top of the tower. Now, do remember, this is where we get both the Lantern and the Key Escape Rope in our SuperMON challenges. And the Lantern is fairly important because it helps us get through some of the dark caves without fumbling around everywhere. And the Key Escape Rope is incredibly handy. It is our analogue for Dig. In fact, we don't actually use it until well after we would normally get Dig anyway, so it doesn't give us any great advantage there. But I like having it. It does mean that we don't have to worry about the HM friends at all. Now we're going to be... Now Now we're going to pick up a very, very important item here. This is one of 2 Paralysis Cure Berries we can get in the Johto part of the challenge. And those come in incredibly useful for those pesky dragon types that love using Thunder Wave. Hopefully we won't have to consume both of them, because that will be a sign of a bit of a struggle in this challenge, but we will keep them just in case, because it's better to be prepared than sorry here in the SuperMON challenge. And now I think I've already mentioned it once or twice here in the pre-recorded videos, but we are now in December, and that means the schedule will be changing ever so slightly for the near future. We will be going up to daily videos for a couple of weeks, just to give myself a little bit of a break off from doing anything to do with streaming. I do daily videos for the last couple of weeks of December, so I can take a couple of weeks off with the holidays, spend it with my family and friends, and then get recharged for the new year. And it is looking like a very exciting start to next year as well. I'm not going to spoil too much, but those people who've seen the stuff in my Discord are very, very happy about things to come next year. And in fact, there may already be a little spoiler for all of you HM friends with one of the videos that is available for you all to watch. So the best way to be notified about whenever I go live, whenever I post a video, is to be subscribed to the channel with the notification bell on if you want to get those extra notifications. And of course, if you want to see the videos early and see that little exclusive video, you can always join the channel membership and become a HM friend. Now, talking of next year, SuperMON is going to be one of our main series, but it will be dropping to 1 video a week. I have struggled this year to get 2 SuperMON videos out every week, because for every run that gets over the line, or every run that gets far enough that I think, yes, I can make a good video out of that, there are a couple of runs that end up consigned to the history books, consigned to the dustbin, never to be shown the light of day, because either I messed up or the Pokémon wasn't quite suited to the SuperMON format. That's part of the reason why we have the 4 moves format, because that does give some of the Pokémon who wouldn't necessarily get too far in SuperMON a chance to thrive as well. So yes, we'll be down to 1 SuperMON video a week from the beginning of next year. But I am really hoping you'll all enjoy what we have in its place for the 3rd video each week. And if I've got the energy, I'm not going to make any promises, but if I've got the energy this month, I will try and do a little preview of both of the types of videos that are coming in the new year, for that little in-betweeny bits between Christmas and New Year, so that we can all at least see what exciting things we have in 2026. And the fact that I'm even talking about 2026 fills me with terror and dread. It does not feel like I should be halfway through my 30s already next year. It doesn't feel as well like I've been doing this for 3.5 years ostensibly at this point. It really is just getting all away from me. I don't know what to do, but we do have now 6 points courtesy of the rocket section. I will try and stop having an existential crisis here in the Azalea Gym, and we will move on to try and take on some of the gym trainers. And Body Slam really is putting in the work at the moment. It's getting one-shots exactly where we want it to, and we're not really having to worry about any of the pesky status conditions that can come from Bugsy's trainers here. We've got Bug Trainer Benny here with his Weedle, Kakuna and Beedrill. One of my favourite Bug Trainers actually to take on. Not quite as nice as 3Drill, but he is well on his way to getting a 3Drill status with his 3 Pokemon there. We one-shot the Paras, so there's no chance of Stun Spore. And that moves us on to Bugsy, who does have a title card. Second gym leader together today, Bug-type Specialist leads with Metapod. So one-shot on Metapod, that means it's a one-shot on Kakuna. We'll try a Rock Slide against the Scyther. It's quad super effective and it knocks it out. And we obtain the Hive Badge, getting up to 9 points in total there, and a fresh level cap of 16. And now just before Rival 2 we will do a very quick PP heal, so that we don't have to worry about one between here and Goldenrod, and we will now engage the rival in battle for a second time. This time he's going to lead with Ghastly, so we mustn't misclick and we must get on Earthquake on turn 1. He'll bring out his Zubat next, we'll throw a rock in its general direction, it goes away. And we'll throw a rock at Quilava as well. Probably should have gone for Earthquake there to guarantee the one-shot. But that is absolutely fine. In some ways that helps me know just roughly where our attack is, and there's no need to heal after that rival actually. We did very, very well. And that does of course mean we can get into the forest. We'll reunite the charcoal maker with his bird, and then we'll get through this cut tree. We'll give a little wave to the green haired man staring at the tree, and we can get our 2 ethers in this forest. I love the fact that in Generation 2 you get so many early ethers. It does make, especially for the time challenges, that early part of the challenge a little bit easier. I quite often end up using both of those ether in Morty's gym, especially if we're running a normal type Pokemon that only has hidden power that can attack Morty. It gives us that way of getting through even quicker than we otherwise would have done, without needing to worry about going into Ecruteak Pokemon Center, which in the time challenges is of course the bane of my life, because it is such a time sink because of Bill's yapping away in that Pokemon Center. Now, I don't think we need the Quick Claw in this challenge, so we're going to go and get our extra experience down here in the Goldenrod Underground. That will mean we'll be able to get the Rentalabra a little bit earlier on, compared to going all the way up without getting the Rentalabra, because it is a little bit of a choice actually between getting early Abra and doing the walk and not doing the Walk of Shame back, or needing to get all of our levels in the north of Goldenrod and then having to walk all the way back in order to get back to Goldenrod City. So I'm very happy that we can do it in this part. Now, we didn't quite make it all the way up to level 20, but we are at 19 and a fair bit of the way through the next level, so that means that we can just take on 1 or 2 of Whitney's gym trainers. I think we'll take on the Centric Lady. That will give us some good defensive stat experience, and it could just be against the Centric Lady that we get all the way up to 20. Yes, we do. That means we can take on Last Carry next, and then it'll be time for Whitney. Now, if we can one-shot Last Carry's Snubble here, I'll be very, very happy. We can. That means we should be in for a fairly easy time here at Whitney. She is our 3rd gym leader together today, a normal type specialist, much like us. She led with Clefairy that we've one-shot. Here comes the Miltank. We've critical hit, so it's just 2 shots to knock it out once and for all. She throws a Strop, and honestly, we crit you, Whitney, so you can take that this time. We will retrieve her badge though, get all the way up to 14 points. We now have a fresh level cap of 25. And now with a quick hill out of the way, we can start heading up towards Ecruteak City. We're already at level 24. I did most of the trainers in and around the National Park to get a few early levels, because I want to try and save most of the Kimono girls until after we have defeated Morty, because they are really good experience points. We'll get some more experience off this Pseudo Widow. We will get the Big Hammer and TM08 from the Rock Smash Man, and we will take on these 2 trainers here on this route as well. The next trainer is the Dream Eater trainer, and I was thinking about him when I was trying to talk about getting the Big Hammer. We will take him on. It should be a one-shot against this Drowsy. We will outspeed, so there is no threat this time. We beat up Greg, and we find ourselves in Ecruteak. Here is that very long cutscene I was talking about. Incredibly long and incredibly frustrating if we are on a timed challenge, but we're not, so we don't need to worry about it too much here, and we'll make our way already into the Burnt Tower. I think we'll be absolutely fine against the rival here, even going in at level 24, and that should mean we are making the most of our experience points, at least in the key battles. We are going to waste some from the gym trainers, but that's absolutely fine. We are now at level 25 against the Magnemoids. We'll knock it out in 1. We'll body slam the Zubat because I don't want to risk Rock Slide's accuracy, and we will Earthquake the Quilava. A nice and easy rival 3 there to make us fall through the floor. We will release the beasts, and we can take on Morty. Morty is our 4th gym leader together today, a dual Ghost and Poison type spectacular leader, who leads with Ghastly. Ghastly goes down in 1. It's going to be a sweep across the board in this gym. We outspeed the Gengar as well because we outsped Whitney's Miltank, And because of the badge boost there, if you outspeed the Miltank, you're guaranteed to outspeed the Gengar here. So that does give us a Fog badge, it increases our level cap to 30, and we now have 19 points on the board. We'll do a very quick PP heal here in Ecruteak Pokemon Center, and we can take on the Kimono Girls and hoover up all of their delicious experience points now that we are below the level cap once more. And we must remember to put Body Slam back into slot 1. It is our best move, and we don't want to be accidentally attacking any flying type Pokemon with Body Slam. That would be a very silly idea. Nice crit there on the Umbreon as well. Meant we didn't have to waste a single turn knocking it out. We get rid of Vaporeon in 1, and if we get rid of Vaporeon in 1, I am absolutely positive we will get rid of the Jolteon in 1 as well, just like that. Kimono Girls were a clean sweep for us this time. That gets us the Raft, and it also gets the Surf, which we can't use, and it also gives us an extra points, getting us up to 20 points. And I think we're going to head east now. And by heading east, I believe we're actually taking the intended route that Game Freak wanted people to take through Pokemon Crystal, well, at least through Generation 2 in general. I think they always wanted you to head east towards the Lake of Rage, get intimidated by the Gyarados, and then try heading west, which would make sense as to why all these trainers are in the high teens, low 20s for their levels, instead of being a little bit higher up, as you would expect, getting into the place where you can get your 7th badge if you route it that way. Oh, we don't one-shot the Slowbro there. Interesting. That's one of very few Pokemon we haven't one-shot yet. Let's try taking on the Gyarados while we're here as well. We do have Rock Slide, which will be super effective. So I'm hoping it will just be a 2-shot, and we get the flinch. So that is a damageless Gyarados, of course. We have to chat with Lance the Liar. We don't want to, but he's here, and he will refuse to let us progress if we don't talk to him. And now here at the lake, we are going to do full items. That includes the rare candy. We get the call from the bike shop in the middle of some trees, which quite how we get signal all the way up here is beyond me, but I'm glad we do. We'll grab this elixir, not sure how handy it'll be, but we can sell it for money if worst comes to worst. And talking of things we're going to sell for money, we are going to also sell TM43, and we will sell Hidden Power as well. And now that we have dealt with everything at the lake, we're actually going to head west next. We've done everything I wanted to do in the Mahogany Town area for now, and by heading west we're going to be able to make the most of all of our experience points, hopefully not by yeeting ourselves across the ledge there. We do have one mandatory battle to take on between here and Chuck's gym trainers. That is Pokefan Derek, because we're not going to be ascending the Lighthouse yet. Instead, we are going to grab Strength, we're going to do a quick heal here in Olivine City, and then we're going to go straight across the seas to Cianwood. In this particular SuperMON challenge, because we are such a strong Pokemon, I feel confident enough in doing a little bit of experimental routing, just to see what happens, just to see whether we can get through in a weird way, where we make the most of our experience points along the way. And that means it's going to be a very quick surf across the open seas to get ourselves into Cianwood City, and it would be lovely to have Fly pre-Cianwood, because do you see how far out Cianwood stretches? We'd be able to get off here and fly all the way to the Pokemon Center instead of having to do that last little bit of surfing. Now, even though we are weak to Chuck's typing, I think because we've got fairly good attack and we have fairly good defenses, we won't have the worst time in the world in this gym. We're able to one-shot the Hitmonlee there. That's a very, very good indication. Probably not going to be able to one-shot the Hitmonchan, and it has burnt us. But that is why we have a Pokemon Center right next door to the gym. That is probably the worst thing that's going to happen in this gym. I can't see any of the other trainers putting up too much resistance at all. So we will get to body slamming Black Belt Knob here. I do like that there is a Knob in each of the early generation games. He is of course one of the translators for the earlier games, and it's nice to have a little nod to a Knob in these challenges. And then we have Lung as well, and we're going to shatter him. I think that's the phrasing he uses at the end, but we will absolutely shatter him. There we go. I got shattered, and that means it's time for Chuck. So Chuck is coming in today as our 5th gym leader of the challenge. He is a fighting type specialist, and he leads with Primeape. Body Slam one-shots the Primeape. How much do we do against the Poliwrath? We critical hit it. It uses Mind Reader, so we 2-shot it in the end. Storm Badge acquired, up to 23 points, but we only have an increase of 1 in our level cap, and that puts us in a little bit of a quandary, because I really want to take on Jasmine next so that we can get the best out of our experience points. I think we're going to YOLO it. We should be fine at Jasmine, really. I can't see her causing us too much grief. That does mean we're going to have to ascend the lighthouse so that we can give the secret potion to her. Of course, she pretends that Amphi will only take secret potion from her, and it's not just because she's plonking it in her own bag, and Amphi gets none of it. And with that, we'll make it into the gym and we'll take her on. This is Jasmine. She is our 6th gym leader together today. A Steel-type specialist who leads with Magnemite. Magnemite number 1 and 2 will go down straight away. And here comes the Steelix. We're going to use Attract on it. Iron Tail has hit once, but we're hitting for fairly good damage. She's going to get herself caught in a bit of a healing loop now. She's not been infatuated fully once yet, goodness me. But Iron Tail keeps missing. There we go. We are through Jasmine. Attract meant nothing there in the end. But we got the win either way, bringing us up to 26 points and a new level cap of 40. So we have 9 levels to play with now in this challenge. But that 9 levels does include 2 rocket sections. And the first of them is here in Mahogany Town, where we are already most of the way through it. And in fact, we've only got the 3 electrode left to go. We've kind of semi-broken the game here, because we have a completely empty rocket section. You can see all the rockets are gone, because we dug out before taking on the electrode. So we have to then walk back in here, and we've got to hope that the game doesn't completely break itself. I don't think I've ever done this before, so we could be in uncharted territory here. I might have to go back to one of the automatically created backup states for things like this, where we find the unintended glitches. Last time we did, of course, have the Sunkern SuperMON glitch, but no, it seems like this time we are able to complete the rocket section with everybody else already left, and that means we can get out of here now. So we'll use our escape rope properly this time. We'll head straight into our next gym. By the way, in Kangaskhan's experience group, you get about 3.5 levels starting at level 31 in that whole Mahogany section, and I took on a few optionals just to try and boost the amount of experience we were getting. Thank goodness for that. That could have been a bit of a pesky battle there. We get through Border Douglas, and we are on to Price. 7th gym leader of the challenge, Ice-type specialist, leads with Seal. Seal's a one-shot with Body Slam, probably going to be a 2-shot on the Dugong, and then probably a 2-shot on the Piloswine as well. Let's see, is that prediction accurate? The Piloswine comes out, it's fully paralysed, he's healing looping, and yes, it is a 2-shot. That is Price all defeated and the Glacier Badge acquired, getting us up to 30 points on the board. And of course, because we still have the higher level cap from Jasmine, our level cap hasn't gone up, and having 7 badges does now mean that the rocket section in Goldenrod is in play. However, we're not going to do it straight away. Instead, we're going to go through the ice path first. There are a couple of useful items in and around the ice path and Blackthorn City that just make doing that Goldenrod section of the rockets a little bit more tolerable, because we can pick up an extra elixir. There's one here, and then there'll be one on the other side of the ice path. And we can get a couple of vitamins as well, so that we are in the best possible shape for taking on that very grueling gauntlet. And so the first of the vitamins is this iron. We do have room for 2 iron at the moment, so that will be going straight in. I have been buying a lot of protein though, so we are already maxed out on the protein, but we can sell that combined with the nuggets we're about to pick up, and that will give us room for probably yet another iron. We are going to buy some max repels now though, so we don't forget to get them later on. And then it's just a quick cycle down here. Here's that second elixir I was talking about earlier. We will try and avoid this trainer. I never get the timing right for her. We will pick up this nugget here. And unfortunately we get to encounter a Gligar. We will run away from that. Pick up the revive to sell for even more money. And I should have put on a repel here, but I'm stubborn. Surely we can't get that many more encounters. Get away, all of you. There's a PP up. We'll be sticking that in a move. And then here is the second Paralyzed Cure Berry as well. With that, we can go over to Goldenrod City. We will then go into the department store where we will sell the bits. And we will get our extra vitamins. So we're going to sell the protein and the nugget. We don't need the revive, and that should give us just enough money to get one extra iron. And that will get our iron stat experience at least 4 using vitamins all maxed out as well. And then I think we'll use 2 PP ups both on Earthquake this time. And now with that prep work out of the way and some of the rockets done, we can take on the 4th and hopefully penultimate rival battle. This time he is going to lead with Golbat. We're going to use the Rock Slide to make sure we get rid of it in one hit. Up next is Magnemite. We'll use Earthquake on that. It goes down in 1. We'll continue with the Earthquake against the Haunter as we grow to level 40, our level cap. We'll Body Slam the Sneasel, get rid of it in 1 hit, and then we will Earthquake the Quilava. There we go, nice and simple rival 4. That means there are even more rockets to get on with. And by even more rockets, I mean just the final executive. He's got a very, very glaring weakness to the ground type, so we can pivot to Earthquake if we need to, but I think it will be 3 one-shots with Body Slam regardless, so there's no need to swap to Earthquake there. That does get us through the last of Team Rocket. That means we are free from the radio tower for yet another challenge. We get up to 33 points. We'll grab ourselves the pink bow. I didn't end up getting the early one. We didn't need it in the end. And we mustn't forget to get the radio card as well, because that will mean we'll be able to get past that very sleepy Snorlax in Kanto. Now the end of the rockets does mean we can go back to Blackthorn City now, where we have one last gym in Johto. This is of course Claire's Dragon type gym, and we have already beaten up all of the gym trainers, so it's on to Claire herself. She is a Dragon type specialist of course, leads with Dragonair, and Body Slam is a one-shot on these Dragonair. That is very good to see, so we're not getting paralysed by them, and we can turn our attention over to the Kingdra. We've paralysed it, and she's not even bothered to heal. That is what we like to see in a Claire battle, a nice and quick and easy one. Let's get out of here now, and you know who's coming up next. It's everyone's favourite smug git. It's Cool Trainer Darren. He ambushes you when you're just trying to get a badge and some extra points on the board, so go away Darren, nobody likes you, you've got no friends. With that, we'll pick up the Max Elixir, we'll get ourselves through this whirlpool here, and we will enter into the Dragon Shrine, where this old man will question us about our Pokémon training abilities. We will reuse the exact same answers that we did for the radio card questionnaire, that being 11212. Claire enters into the Dragon's Den, and we obtain our next badge. That is the Rising Badge, all obtained. We have all 8 Johtonian Gym badges. We have a fresh level cap now of 42 as well, and we are up to 36 points. Now, having 8 badges does mean we can make our way to the Pokémon League, but before we do, we're going to pick up our 2 standard rare candies for SuperMON. Of course, the first lives here in Mount Mortar, and the second, of course, is here in the Whirl Islands. With those both safely picked up for another challenge, we'll get out of here. We'll air balloon back to New Bark Town, where we will cross in to Kanto. And as always, we will take on some of the trainers en route between here and Victory Road, because of course, Victory Road has no trainers at all. It's completely devoid of anyone barring the rival. And because a lot of the trainers here run fully evolved Pokemon, it's very good to build up your stat experience even once you do hit the level cap. Although I don't think taking on this Quillfish guy is probably going to be very useful at all, because Quillfish doesn't have the best stats in the world, so the stat experience here is going to be fairly moot, but we get to see how well we beat up a Sea King, and that's absolutely wonderful because we one-shot it. This Espeon, on the other hand, could help us out. It's got a lot of speed, a lot of special, so even though we're not running our special attack, it will still add to our special defense as well. We've got the Hill House here, and we'll take on Inevitable Joyce. There are many things that aren't guaranteed in this world, but there is one thing that's guaranteed, and that's that Joyce will spot you anywhere you go. It doesn't matter how much you try and disguise yourselves, Joyce has the world's best vision. And now, with everybody taken care of just before Victory Road for another challenge, we will now make our way in there. There's just the one item we need to pick up this time, and that is the HP up. We'll be using that for the Karen battle. And now we'll engage the rival in one last battle. This time he is going to lead with Sneasel. Sneasel's a very nice opening for us because we can just one-shot it straight away. Now, do we one-shot the Golbat? We do not. Interesting. That's a little bit worrying. We'll move on to the Magneton though, and we'll Earthquake it away. We will Earthquake the Haunter as well, and that leaves Kadabra left to go. We'll get rid of Kadabra. Oh, there's Typhlosion here as well for no good reason. We'll get rid of that with an Earthquake. It survives, but only just. We'll finish it off with a second, and we say goodbye to the rival for another challenge and get ourselves up to 38 points. We'll do a heal. We will then buy our full restores. We're going to buy as many as we can afford, just so that we've got some for the Kanto section. And now, as always, before going into the league, we will take a look at our stats and make some predictions. We are level 42 with 165 HP. We are holding nothing at the moment, but that's going to be a Bitterberry, with Body Slam, Earthquake, Attract, and Rock Slide. 117 in attack, 104 in defense, 68 in special attack, but that's meaningless in this one, 102 in special defense, and 108 in speed. And before I forget, let's equip that Bitterberry. And now, if you're interested in the stat experience departments, we've got 17,000 in HP at the moment, 39,000 in attack, 35,000 in defense, 23,500 in our speed, and 30,000 in special. So they will be boosting our stats ever so slightly. And don't forget, the shown stats on the stats screen aren't the in-battle stats. Because of the badge boosts, we will get buffs to all of our stats at this point in the challenge. And as for the league itself, I don't think we'll have to worry too much about Will. We should be able to get through fairly easily. Same with Koga, we've got Earthquake for his Fortress, so as long as it doesn't become a bomb, we'll be absolutely fine. Bruno could go either way in this one, if I'm being perfectly honest. It's all going to come down to the Machamp, as it often does. Karen is going to be RNG, she nearly always is, unless we've got something to one-shot the Umbreon, which we don't in this instance. And now I am worried about Lance. The more I've played of this challenge, the more I'm wishing I'd have picked Double Edge instead of a Rock Slide. Rock Slide has barely been touched at all, and I think that Double Edge would have guaranteed one-shots on his Dragonite and would have proved to be a little bit easier, but we're still going to give it a go regardless. Hope is not lost. We just might need to get a little bit lucky. And so there is nothing more we can do to prepare, and as soon as this Will title card starts playing, we'll be able to engage him in battle. He's our first league member. He is a Psychic type specialist, leads with Xatu. Very nice crit there on the first Xatu, that brings us on to the Jinx, and here comes Executor. We have been Leech Seeded, that is particularly annoying, because it does mean we are now going to be relying on not taking too many turns to knock things out. That Slowbro was perfect though. That brings us on to the last Xatu. It uses Confuse Ray, but we have the Bitterberry, and we get through Will. That wasn't a clean Will, that wasn't a perfect Will, but it was a good start. I've done the standard prep work for Koga now, that is healing up and holding on to the Poison Cure Berry. Let's take him on. He is our second league member, he is a Poison type specialist who leads with Ariados. We'll Body Slam the Ariados, and we have missed, but Kicker Drain doesn't do anything at all really. It was almost pointless him using it. Here comes Venomoth, it goes for Psychic, and again, kind of pointless. It doesn't do much at all. Now we're going to attract this fortress, just to be safe, and then we will use a Body Slam there. We'll now get to Earthquaking it and just hope that it does not go boom. As long as we can knock it out, we'll be fine. Interesting he didn't go for boom there, actually. We've got Earthquake for this muck. He uses Minimize, but we hit through, and that just leaves Crobat left to go. It does outspeed, which is very frustrating, but we've hit it once, and as long as we can hit it another time, we will be able to defeat it. Surviving on 5. Goodness me, I should have ethered Body Slam there. Had to pivot to a Rock Slide, which was not the wisest play in the world, but we did scrape through. We're going to use an Elixir here, and we are going to use all of the rare candies that we can, getting up to level 46 here. And I think we will hold on to the Gold Berry as well. So now that we're actually holding on to the Gold Berry instead of the Soft Sand, we'll take him on. This is Bruno, our 3rd League member, a fighting type specialist who leads with Hitmontop. We've got Earthquake so we can get the Hitmontop while it's underground. We'll use Body Slam on the Hitmonlee, we'll take it out in 1. And we'll do a Body Slam against the Hitmonchan as well. Hopefully it'll be fully paralysed. It isn't, so we're on 114 HP for the Machamp. Cross Chop has missed, excuse me. And that means we have a very, very easy end to the battle there. Sandstorm was meaningless. That was kind of a cross between a sneeze and a cough there. I do beg your pardon, that must have sounded absolutely horrible. But we are now through Bruno and we can take on Karen. I have done the prep work, I've double checked that all of our moves should have enough PP. Let's take her on. She is a Dark type specialist and she's going to lead with Umbreon. We're going to try running Attract on this Umbreon, see what happens, and then we'll get to Body Slamming it. We've paralysed it as well, that means it has a very, very low chance of being able to hit us. Now, are we going to get paralysed by this Vileplume? We are, but we can two-shot it. Here comes Gengar. Gengar sworn at us, and we haven't been fully paralysed. That makes me feel a little bit better. We can Body Slam the Murkrow, and we come onto the Houndoom. We've connected with the Earthquake, we outsped because it went for Roar for some reason there, and we have defeated Karen, getting ourselves up to 54 points, and we have a new level cap of 50, and would you believe, we have 3 rare candies in total. So we'll use those. We will also now equip the Purr's Cure Berry, not the PSN Cure Berry, different consonant, that's all, and we will use a full restore. We will Elixir, and now we will think about Lance. Now this very well could be the end of the challenge. I hope it's not for Kangaskhan's sake, but we will have to see. He leads with Gyarados, and we will start with a Body Slam. He's probably going to go for Rain Dance, just like that, and we can two-shot Gyarados. Here comes the first Dragonite. We paralyse it, and Thunder Wave has had a Gen 2 miss. That is brilliant. That means that no matter what happens now, we're not getting... Oh, we didn't need the Purr's Cure Berry. After all of that, we didn't bloomin' need it. We outspeed the Aerodactyl and we flinch it. It's getting a taste of its own medicine. We can 4 times super effective Rock Slide the Charizard there. And then we'll go to a pair of Body Slam, hopefully, for the last Dragonite. And that is Lance defeated. That was very lucky with the double Thunder Wave miss. We only needed one of them to miss, really, to get through this battle. And the only other way I could have seen us going down is like if Rock Slide missed 4 times in a row against the Charizard, but it didn't. And that does mean that Kangaskhan enters into the Hall of Fame. We are now halfway through this SuperMON challenge. There's hopefully another 8 gym badges plus the red fight left to come in this particular challenge, but nothing can be taken for granted in SuperMON. So don't you dare go anywhere, because Kanto is next. And now we are rejoining the action as we always do here in Vermilion City, where in SuperMON our first task is to get all of the Kantonian storyline completed so we can choose the order in which we face the Kanto gyms. Now today we are going to take on Super Nerd Tom because he should be fairly easy, and it gives us some much needed defensive stat experience ready for later on in the challenge. We held on to our Pros Cure so we don't need to get another one, and we can start making our way through a rock tunnel. And as we do, I want to talk about something that was brought up in one of the comments of a SuperMON challenge not too long ago. Somebody pointed out, and very rightly actually pointed out, that I get very, very lucky in the SuperMON challenge videos, and I end up getting an awful lot of getting out of an awful lot of situations, I should say, where most people would struggle, and that is not a coincidence, and this is not any kind of admission of cheating. It's just, if I end up going down in the league, most of the time I will abandon the run. I will abandon the challenge. I will think to myself, I can't create a good video out of that. Let's start again, either with the same Pokemon or, more likely, go fresh with something else. And that all comes down to the way YouTube works, unfortunately. It tracks your average watch duration compared to your recent videos, and so if I have a really short SuperMON video, YouTube is just going to tank it straight away, so I'm not really able to do what I would want to do, which is release that video and say, look, here's how far we got this time. But that's where the streams come in. Those streams are there for us to see just how many attempts it takes for some Pokemon, and generally as well, if I make it past sort of Jasmine or Rival 4, I'm not going to restart the run at that point either in the video, because then we'll have the opposite effect. Instead of the video being too short, we've got all that catch up to do and the video will be too long. Because as much as some people don't like seeing every single key battle in Pokemon Crystal, I'm one of those people. I like having all the key battles on screen. That goes for all the Kanto leaders, all of the rebattles that we do if we do take a redo like we did in the Parasect Challenge. They will all end up on screen. So that would mean that a video that was running at about half an hour would end up at probably about an hour and 20, an hour and a half if we made progress through the league there. And that to me is just not going to be the kind of video that I want to put out. And with that, we're already at 3 Drill. Let's give him his title card and let's say hello to the bees. We say hello to 1 Drill, we say hello to 2 Drill, and then we say hello to 3 Drills, 3 Drill. Friend of the channel here, always happy to take him on in SuperMON. And we can move on in and out of Pewter City. We're going to hold on to Brock for just a little while, but we'll get the fly points registered for him. That just means that when we do want to battle Brock, we'll be able to go straight back to Pewter instead of having to cycle all the way up here from Viridian. I think we're going to take on Blaine and Janine as our first 2 Cantonian gym leaders. They'll probably be 2 of the easier leaders. Blaine because we've got Earthquake, and Janine just because she's Janine and she's not learnt to be a good gym leader yet. I'm always giving her the benefit of the doubt. She's actually my favourite Cantonian gym leader, and I just think she needs a little bit of time to prepare and get experienced. We're coming in, obviously, just as she's taken over the gym, so she's not really going to know what she's doing yet, and she's not going to have quite as high a leveled Pokemon as her father would. Now, Blaine, on the other hand, he does have the excuse, at least, that Cinnabar Island completely blew up. But still, you'd think he'd do better than just having 3 Pokemon. We get through him first try, that was never in doubt, and we will cycle straight away into Fuchsia Gym. We know who the real Janine is. She is right here, and we'll engage her in battle. This is Janine. She is our second Cantonian leader. Leads with Crobat. As we grow to 52 against Crobat, we will use Earthquake against her first Weezing. We'll use Earthquake against her second Weezing as well. And then we'll swap back to Body Slam for the Ariados. That just leaves her Venomoth left to go. She doesn't bother with a dire hit today. And we get through Janine, obtaining the Soul Badge and getting ourselves up to 70 points in total so far. And now I think our next best plan of action is to take on Surge next. We do of course have Earthquake if we need to fall back to it, but we're going to outspeed everything and I don't think it's going to be too difficult of a gym battle. So we'll take care of Gregory first and then we will engage Surge in battle. He is an electric type specialist, he is our 3rd gym leader of Kanto, and he leads with Raichu. We'll Body Slam the Raichu and grow up to level 53, out comes Electrode number 1. We more than comfortably outspeed it, so it goes down in 1. We will swap to Earthquake for the Magneton, and then we'll go back to Body Slam for the last Electrode. That brings Electabuzz into play. We can Body Slam as well, and that was a nice and pleasant Surge battle there. Thunder Badge acquired up to 73 points. Now we're almost 3/4 of the way through the challenge, and I think our next destination is going to be Cerulean City. Now that does frustratingly bring Nugget Bridge into play. We have to get through it in every single challenge, and this one is no exception. But I want to use this as a bit of a decompress for the challenge so far. I think we had a very, very lucky time through the league. In all honesty, any of the league members could have spelt the end of the challenge in this one. We could have had worse luck at Will. We could have had worse luck at Koga, especially if his Fortress went boom. Then Bruno's cross-chop missing was the key to success there. After that was Karen, and it didn't matter that we were paralysed, we still got through fairly easily. And then we had the double Thunder Wave miss at Lance. Now that was an exceptional bit of luck, and of course we did flinch the Aerodactyl as well, which was nice to see. I could definitely have seen a universe as well, where our 90% accurate Rock Slide ended up missing 3 or 4 times in a row against that Charizard, and would have spelt the end of the challenge. Because you know what that Charizard's like, it can burn you, it can completely annihilate your physical attack, and then you've got nothing for the Dragonite, it locks itself into Outrage, and you can be as specially defensive as you like, but that is a pseudo-legendary Pokémon, and it will absolutely eat you for dinner if it gets any opportunity to. But with that, we have reached the end of Nugget Bridge for another challenge. We will now go back to Cerulean City and we will take Misty on. We're not quite at the stage where we can candy to get up to the next level cap, but we are fairly close, and I think we'll get those levels courtesy of Misty. She is our next gym leader. She is a water type specialist led with Golduck that went down. We'll Body Slam the Quagsire as well. It goes down in 1 hit. And now here comes the Lapras. I'm actually going to fish for a flinch here. See if we get it. We don't, but she's Rain Dance. No Perish Song for us. And then we will be able to Body Slam the Starmie. So we get through Misty and we get ourselves up to 76 points. And somehow we are still not at level 56. That means we're going to have to find more trainers to beat up in order to use our rare candies. And I know just the place where some of those trainers live. We haven't been to Celadon City at all yet in this challenge. And in here we can grab, if I can get into the cafe, we'll grab the leftovers from the bin. We will also use a PP up, and we should have some spare max elixirs because our PP is getting very, very low. We've got 3 of them at the moment. We'll make that 2 by replenishing all of our power points. And now we'll start beating up all of the trainers here in Erica's gym. It always surprises me just how many mandatories she has, but we are going to get up to level 56, courtesy of the twins Joe and Zoe there. So let us now use our final 2 rare candies of this challenge, get ourselves up to level 58, and that means we can now challenge all of the rest of the gym leaders in whatever order we like. It's going to make 0 difference at all, because the next time our stats get recalculated will be after the blue battle. We'll get rid of Beauty Julius Paris, Execute and Parasect, and then it will be time for Erica. I'm hoping to have a very easy try here at Erica. I can't see her being too difficult. She leads with a Tangela, we one-shot the Tangela, and I think that guarantees the one-shot on everything barring maybe the Blossom. I think the Blossom is slightly tankier, but even the Blossom goes down in one shot, and that crit might have mattered there. We will obtain the Rainbow Badge up to 79 points, and now it's a quick trip back to Saffron City, where we're going to take on Sabrina next. We might as well deal with her. She's our last... No, that's not the gym, is it? We might as well deal with her. She is our last Eastern Cantonian gym leader, if you like, and she is going to lead with Peskeon. So we'll hopefully one-shot the Espeon just like that. We'll move on to Mr. Mime, and again it's a one-shot, and if we get rid of both of those in one, Alakazam stands 0 chance. So that is the Marsh badge, 82 points. And now we can leave, and there is just one regular gym leader left, and that is, of course, Brock in Pewter City. We delayed him for as long as we can, but we will now enter into his gym, and we'll engage him in battle. This is Brock. He is a rock-type specialist, and he's going to lead with Graveler. We'll use Earthquake against the Graveler, we'll knock it out in one. Here comes Rhyhorn, and there goes Rhyhorn. And the third Pokemon is Omastar. Omastar's another one-shot. Onix is next. Onix has a lot of defense, but no match for our Earthquake. We get rid of the Kabutops as well, and we defeat Brock to obtain our 85th point on this challenge. And now we only have one gym leader left to go. He lives, of course, here in Viridian City, and it is Blue. So we will cycle around to his gym, and we'll engage him in battle. So I have equipped the leftovers for this battle just in case. Let's see how we get on against Blue. He leads with Pidgeot, we'll use Body Slam, and he hits us very, very lightly with a wing attack. We knock it out in two. We know we're going to be able to one-shot Alakazam. It's very, very frail. And here comes Rhydon. Hopefully we can two-shot this thing. And we don't need to worry about the Sandstorm. Oh, goodness me, he swapped. He predicted the double Earthquake there. That's absolutely fine, though, because he can get himself caught in all kinds of healing loops with this Gyarados. We'll knock it out in two, and here comes Rhydon again. We'll use Earthquake to dispose of it once and for all. And the next Pokemon is Exeggutor. This thing can Leech Seed us, just like that. But we shouldn't really need to worry too much about Leech Seed. I'm trying to avoid a healing loop here, by the way. With the Arcanine, it hasn't happened, I don't think. Maybe Leech Seed, actually, played in our favour there, because we were able to two-shot it, because he got back up into the green. But that was a very fun Blue battle there. We get ourselves 90 points on the board, and our new level cap is 81. We'll have a little chat with Professor Oak. He's going to open up Silver Cave for us, and that is our next and final destination of the challenge. So we'll go back to Viridian, we'll equip what is likely to be our final, if not penultimate, repel of the challenge. We have beaten the hardest ledge in the game, and now we are in Silver Cave. We will park ourselves in front of Red, and now we will Candy Jar all the way up to 81. That's the Candy Jar used. Let's take a look at our stats going into Red. We are level 81 with 317 HP, holding the leftovers with Body Slam, Earthquake, Attract, and Rock Slide. 226 in attack, 200 in defense, 132 in special attack, 197 in special defense, and 209 in speed. And for those of you interested in the stat experience, it's 26,500 in HP. We've got 46,000 in attack, 42,000 in defense, 30,000 in speed, and 37,500 in special. So it is now or never. We'll either win or we will lose against Red, but we will engage him in battle. He leads with Pikachu, and we can Body Slam it away in a one-shot. Up second is Espeon. We do one-shot. That is very, very good to see. What about this Snorlax? He's gone for his own Body Slam, and he has paralysed us. That's not good. That was a very low chance of him going for Body Slam as well. He was much, much, much more likely to go for Amnesia there. So we could be losing because of a little bit of RNG. Venusaur has gone for Sunny Day. Solar Beam's going to hit us fairly hard, but it didn't crit us. Charizard is next. We are going to have to use Rock Slide here and hope for the best. We're fully paralysed. It's all over. That is gutting. The very, very slim chance of that Snorlax going for Body Slam and then paralysing us, and then us being fully paralysed against the Zard. I was talking about being lucky earlier, wasn't I? Just shows sometimes the luck doesn't come your way. Now we are in 7th place in between Dugong and Raticate. We got further at Red than Raticate, but not as far as Dugong. And I do think on another day with different luck, we would have made it easily through past the Blastoise, and Kangaskhan would have been a SuperMON, but it was not Kangaskhan's fate on this particular occasion. So I really hope you have enjoyed this run. I hope the ending's not too disappointing for you all. If you have enjoyed it, please do make sure to leave a like. Click subscribe if you want to see any more videos just like this. If you want to see them early, you can always become a HM friend and join the channel membership. You get to see SuperMON runs as soon as they are ready to be uploaded, and you get to see the time challenges roughly a week or so in advance as well. Any feedback, leave it in the comments down below. But until next time, I will say thank you all so much for watching. It's been a pleasure as always, and I'll catch you all very, very soon.